Hey, this is really quick for me, but I just want to preface this by saying this is a completely different video than I've ever done before. Trying to do something new. Bear with me. It's going to be pretty cool though. It's an interesting concept. I just wanted to talk about this. I couldn't find anything about this really on YouTube. There's like tributes and stuff like that, but nothing really talking about the overall layout of it. So I just decided to make my own. So here we go. The first thing that we are going to look at here is the minigames. Now, the minigames were definitely a highlight while I was playing Legacy Edition. So, this is the first one. This is the PvP one. And you have chests in the middle, you go around searching for loot, and you fight people. It was quite fun when I was playing. Now, Legacy Edition was started, if I remember, in 2011 with Xbox 360 edition and just started growing from there. It was definitely one of the big parts of when I was younger, and I had a ton of fun playing the mini games or going to different worlds. So we'll be checking out one of my favorite free worlds that they had later on. But first, we're going to be talking about a bit about the mini games, some features it had, and all that stuff. Now, Legacy Edition for PS4 stopped updating at Update Village and Pillage, but the rest stopped at Update Aquatic. So, PS4 yeah, here you go. It's showing the mini games. So, PS4, let's just say, got updated normally for these updates months later. I would hear about the updates on Java Edition, and then it'd just be like, I don't know, let's just say almost 2 months later, and we still didn't have the update. I remember sometimes it took like 4 to 5 months to get these updates. Now, this was obviously a problem, and this is why one of the main reasons why Legacy Edition was changed, because they wanted to make it so that the game was easier to update as a whole, because there's so many different versions between consoles that it made it so hard to update it and keep it on track that you would have updates like 3 months later. So Village Pillage was the last update for PS4. For Xbox 360 and Nintendo Switch, those two, they stopped at Update Aquatic and then changed to the Better Together update. So, as once again, PS4 got the last of this update, the Better Together update was started in 2017 with Xbox One edition and not Xbox 360, but Xbox One. And then Nintendo Switch was added into Bedrock. Oh, gosh. Sorry for yawning. The Xbox One edition was. No, not Xbox One, sorry. Nintendo Switch was added in 2018, while PS4 was added in 2019. So yeah, that's crazy. 2 years later, we finally get that update. Just something to think about. Now, looking at our next mini game that we're going to check out, this is Tumble, which is basically Spleef, to be completely honest. So, this was Spleef, and this was really cool. When I heard that PS4 was going to be switching to Bedrock, I was very excited for the servers that I'm going to actually finally be able to play, like the Hive or Mineplex, all that stuff. But over time, don't get me wrong, still love Bedrock Edition. I definitely don't want to go back to Legacy Edition with the extremely long wait for updates. But I slowly started missing these mini games, and I just wish they would have brought it over to Bedrock Edition, because this was such a fun highlight. And if people didn't want to go on super competitive servers like it was, you could go here. And for the PvP at least, it wasn't super challenging. It wasn't you didn't have to be really good at the game. You just kind of had to have fun, and that's all that really mattered. That's why I liked it. So when you won, you would go up here, you would get an elytra. Oh gosh, why am I yawning? You could, you would get an elytra, and you also got a full diamond set just to kind of show off. Look at me, I won. So the next game we're gonna check out was Glide, which was basically elytra flying. It was an elytra race. It was really fun. Another thing I do want to point out here is that these servers you could still get in with about 5 people, and you could still get into them with actual people in them, which I was really happy to see when I logged on. I was like, alright, this is going to take a while. I'm going to have to just get an alt account on here, try to, I don't know, make it work so that, oh, oh, gosh. Just keep on yawning, jeez. I gotta stop yawning. It's illegal to yawn on video, guys. It's true, though. If you yawn on video, you're banned from YouTube. Anyways, it's, I will say, it was, yeah, it was quite fun to play these mini games, and I do miss them from time to time. There's many other features I do miss in Legacy Edition, but we'll get to those in a little bit. So, this glide mini game was really fun because it was kind of my first time using an elytra, because I used an elytra in survival mode from time to time, but I did it like, I didn't truly use it all that much when I was younger, because I wasn't like, I, I don't know, when I was younger I would just mess around a lot, and now I'm kind of getting into the more serious side of Minecraft, but still messing around a lot, don't get me wrong. So, sorry, I yawned again. I don't want you guys to hear that. Like I said, it's legal. If I yawn more than 3 times, I'm banned from YouTube. So, yeah, here is the first round of it, and this was really cool because you look at these maps and they're so detailed, and then I look at some of the maps as like you just have to pay for, and I think to myself, why do I have to pay for these maps? They're not, some of these I had to pay $3 for, and they're not nearly as detailed, and they don't have anything extra or modded into the game, and they're still $3. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, why would I do that? Honestly, I see some elytra flying maps, and I just say, no, I'm just gonna go back to Legacy Edition. Are you kidding me? So, that is definitely something I do miss of Legacy Edition, all the minigames, because those were really, really fun. Another thing that I do kind of want back from Legacy Edition is the super flat worlds, because those were really fun. I remember I would just go into TNT worlds and just blow up everything and just go crazy with it. It was fun. Super flat worlds were another highlight of it, and those we'll be visiting in another video. This is going to be multiple videos because there's a lot to talk about here that I wasn't able to showcase in one video. Now, here we go. I think we're moving on to the next thing, which we're gonna look at a bit of the tutorial world while we're talking, and there's gonna be stuff in the background for you guys to look at, not just listen to me talking. Oh, hi, Dogi. Dogi. So here's the overview of the tutorial world, and this was great for new players because if you joined Minecraft and didn't know what it is and none of your friends told you what it is, I think you would probably be confused on what you're going to be doing. If you'd never heard of it, you'd be confused. Nowadays, yes, there's the helpful guide, but it doesn't really help all that much in my opinion. The tutorial world was a better way to give a hands-on way of showing you how to play the game. The tutorial world was very fun and had so many things around this. You could do all the stuff in this area, and then outside there was like really cool sculptures and statues. There was an electrifying thing. There was a lot of stuff to look at in this world. And here's just a little overview of it. There's so much I could go over. And, yawned again. Can we have a yawn counter? I think that's 5 times. Yawn counter on the top right. Okay, cool. Um, so there's so many things to go over in this that it deserves its own video, to be completely honest. I will not be looking, I can't look at everything in this video. It would be a 40-minute video if I did. So we'll definitely be going back over and checking out some of the stuff in a different video. Like I said, I don't think I said this actually, but this is going to be multiple parter video, and I want to go ahead and look at all the things and so many other things in Minecraft Legacy Edition that I can't go over today. Like all those worlds, I want to do like a world tour for all of those. There's a ton of stuff to go over and just explore that you don't really get all that much in Bedrock Edition. You get survival mode, you get flat world, or super flat world, sorry, but you don't get to customize it. And that, in my opinion, is a big problem, and what we're going to be looking at a different video. So, as you can see, I'm just kind of looking around the tutorial world. It was very fun. Let's see. Oh, another thing of Bedrock Legacy Edition is that the electrifying was a lot different. Well, it's similar, but the default features, I don't know if this is Bedrock because I'm not used to it, but you have like this weird thing where the camera tilts every time you turn, and I joined in Bedrock Edition with those features, or Legacy, sorry, with those features on, and I don't know if I really liked it all that much. It was kind of weird. So let's see, what's another feature that we could talk about? Well, there's a lot to talk about, let's just say that. But another thing that I do remember is that PvP is a lot different in this, and so is electrifying. I know I said that before, but electrifying is a lot more finicky than it is now. And another thing that is a lot different with the PvP is that, I don't know, it feels like like mobility is not as advanced as it is now. If that makes any sense, at least on this controller, because it almost feels like when you're walking around, you sometimes like strafe randomly. When you're hitting people, it doesn't feel like, I don't know, it feels really weird now. But that's just also me too. It's been a while since I played Legacy, but it's good to see that it's not a completely dead version. Well, yes, it is still a bit of a lost version. I'm gonna call it a lost version because discontinued. We're not getting more updates to Legacy Edition, but it's not completely dead, and it's nice to see that communities are still playing. I remember I logged on one day just to play for like a couple hours, and I saw the same people in different games multiple times. So it's if you want to go back and see kind of like a tight knit community, like how older Minecraft was, then just in your console and you can't go to like Java servers or something like that, just go to Legacy Edition. You can find these quite well. So one of the final things I want to talk about is that this, I feel like Mojang, back when there was Legacy Edition, put so much more effort into the new players for it, because this tutorial world, if you joined this tutorial world, I think you would probably be quite impressed. I feel like Mojang puts a lot more effort, or put a lot more effort, into Legacy Edition than they put into Bedrock Edition when it comes to new players. Because just the user guide is not really enough. I looked over it, it gives you like a ton of detail, but to be completely honest, I'd rather play and not read through it. When I download a game, I'm not looking for a read through tutorial. I'll do a playthrough tutorial, but I don't want to read it. So the next thing that we're going to look at, these are the worlds. Now, Legacy Edition had a bunch of worlds that you were able to try for free. Now, trying for free means you don't get to save anything, but if you want to play it and look at it like once, it's free, which was Jeez, I keep on yawning. What is that, like 8? I don't know. I don't even know if there's a yawn counter. I might just going crazy. But we're gonna look at the Halloween world, and this was one of my favorites for sure. So it had a custom texture pack in it, which looked really fun, and I missed some of these texture packs, to be completely honest. I know you could probably still, I think you could still play these worlds in Bedrock, but you gotta pay for them if you want to look into them, so I'm just like, bruh, why would I do that when I could just go back to Legacy? Anyways, so here we're gonna look at this world and also a couple removed features from Legacy Edition that were in the game but then got removed later. So if we start, this is a roller coaster, by the way, just so you know. So the first thing that was removed, and these are biomes, by the way, was the rainforest. Now this is the picture of the rainforest. It looks like it would have been kind of interesting. There's going to be pictures for all these, by the way. The next biome that was removed was the seasonal forest. Now these are all pictures of it, and we don't have perfect confirmation of what it was, but these are the only pictures that I could find. Next was the savanna. So we had a savanna. These are all kind of blurry too, because there are older pictures and all that stuff, so you guys probably get it. Next was the shrubland, which kind of just looks like plains, but a bit different of variation. And then the last but not least was the tundra. So all these were biomes that were removed, but they were in the game at one point in time, but Mojang decided to remove them for one reason or another. Now there's one other feature that was removed, and that was the rose. Now here's a picture of the rose, and this got replaced by the poppy, and they made a rose bush instead, which makes sense. There are a couple of the removed features, like the void. In Legacy Edition, you could not break Bedrock, so they just removed the void entirely. And yeah, Bedrock was unbreakable even in creative mode. So another thing is that there was a game chat in sound settings in early versions of PlayStation 4 and other Legacy console editions, but this was removed from PlayStation 4 edition. Sadly, I really wish that would have stayed, because that would have been really fun in my opinion, but you know, Mojang just kind of does whatever they please. So, we're back on the Hive just for some background stuff, because I want to show off more, but I don't want to show off too much right now. So I only want to show you a clip of that Halloween world, because we're gonna do more, and probably like world tours, like 2 world tours, like a video sometimes. By the way, I really miss the looting that we had in Legacy Edition. I mean, as you saw there, all my stuff just got taken, and in Legacy it was just one click and you get everything. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say here is that we're definitely not finishing this in one video. This could be a whole series in itself because it's it's also me visiting older memories that I had when I was younger, and it's just all about having fun too. So what we're gonna probably kind of wrap it up here in a couple seconds, but what I kind of wanted you guys to take away from this is that, well, yes, it's a lost version, that's for sure. It is, I don't consider it a dead version. Well, yes, they're not updating it and it's discontinued. I consider dead to be no player base, but as seen, that is obviously not true. People are still playing Legacy Edition, which I find to be crazy. I thought it would have been a completely dead, but it's not. It's still pretty dead, don't get me wrong. You're not gonna see like 20 people playing or full lobbies or anything. Well, you might, but it just depends on what lobby you get into. But you're definitely not, it's not completely dead. You're definitely still going to see like a good 5 people. So there's still people playing this version and possibly enjoy it more than Bedrock Edition. But that's all from me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this. It's been a pretty long video, but it's also been really fun at the same time. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Minecraft video. Bye, gamers. Oh, by the way, make sure to like and subscribe. I know I'm being a sellout, but shh.